possibly considered huge underdogs for the Champions League final against Manchester City in just over a week. However, a fantastic run in 2023 has seen Inter Milan secure Champions League football again, finishing strong in Serie A, winning 5 out of their last 6 games, plus overcoming Milan convincingly in both legs of the Champions League semi-final. Internazionale manager Simone Inzaghi has become a cup king in his managerial career so far, winning 7 out of his 8 cup finals, with his sole defeat coming in his first season as a manager, losing the Coppa Italia to Juventus back in 2017. He did, however, go on to win the Supercoppa Italia later that year before winning the Coppa Italia in 2019 and the Supercoppa again in that year, leaving Lazio to join Inter Milan back in 2021, where in his first 2 seasons with the Nerazzurri he has secured back-to-back Champions League qualifications and won all 4 domestic cups on offer, with 2 Coppa Italias and 2 Supercoppas. Inzaghi generally lines up in a 3-5-2 using high wing-backs, and currently at the moment using a more classic front 2 with a target player in Lukaku and Edin Dzeko, alongside a penalty box predator in Lautaro Martinez. You have a superb ball-playing goalkeeper in Andre Onana, who plays very much in the Ederson style of helping up in build-up phases, but also capable of those longer, more counter-attacking passes. They are very strong, decent ball-playing defenders in Skriniar, Acerbi, Bastoni, along with wing-backs such as Damian and Di Marco, who are capable of playing in both wide areas and wider centre-back roles. In the wide areas, they have Robert Gosens and Dumfries, provide great pace, directness, and decent crossing threats from the wide areas. The midfield, I absolutely love in Brozovic, as not just a protector, but a superb line-breaking passer. You have the energy and the late runs from Nicola Barella, and then the third often being a Hakan Çalhanoğlu or the born-again Mkhitaryan playing in a newfound role of central midfield. The tactic sets up wonderfully in FM23, where I have done my first ever Invincible season with the tactical sim, and we've carried on the Inzaghi tradition, winning both domestic cups. The tactic is available now for all my patrons, where you just download the tactic and put it in your FM23s folder. If you fancy getting a weekly tactic download and the chance to win monthly football shirts, then consider becoming one of my now over 50 Patreon members using the link below. If not, don't worry, we'll go through all the player positions, roles, plus the PIs and TIs for this Invincible 352. Right, so there it is in all its glory. 38 games, 27 wins, 11 draws, no defeats, goal difference of 72 with a 92-point haul. Champions League, losing to PSG, absolutely no shame, but winning the Coppa Italia and the Coca-Cola Super Cup, the Supercoppa as we like to call it generally. I'm not Italian, but you know what I mean. As you can see, a lot of clean sheets in the league, a lot of clean sheets, a couple of 4-0s, 3 5-0s in there, and even an 8-0 over Empoli. The Champions League was a little bit of hit and miss. Started with 2 draws, away from home with Copenhagen, and then a home draw against Madrid, not bad. Beating Ajax, obviously qualifying by winning the last game, and then a 2-1 win in the first leg, but we did get beat 2-0, and it actually went, as you could see, to extra time, where a João Pedro goal, that João Pedro, the now Brighton-bound João Pedro, scoring in the 116th minute. Stat-wise, Martinez, absolute baller in the game, 35 goals. Romelu Lukaku getting 33, and Edin Dzeko, a beautiful contribution of 21 in 19 starts. Did have 21 appearances off the bench. Superb backup player. Correa helping out as that sort of like 4th strike and getting nearly double figures. Çalhanoğlu getting 7. Barella maybe could have got a few more, but assist-wise, Barella made up for it with 13 assists. Dumfries, Di Marco, both doing well in the wide areas, getting 10 and 11 assists between them, with Robin Gosens as well, getting 8. So here it is, the 3-5-2 with Inter Milan, and it is a flat 3-5-2, as you can see. Obviously, out of possession, it's going to look like this, but then it will move into sort of like a 3-1 kind of 4-2, with the 2 wide players moving up, the Mazzala and the central midfielder moving up into these attacking midfielder roles, and obviously the wing-backs combining. So, sweeper keeper on support, we have got no play instructions. Onana, we've got him on support because he is very good at those long raking passes into sort of like the wing backs, into even the target forward at times, into the challenge for Martinez to chase, Lukaku to chase, so that's why we've got him on support and not defend. The wide centre-back role has swapped over a little bit. For the Champions League final, I'm not sure who he's actually going to play here, whether he'll go with Skriniar, who's kind of been on the bench a lot over the last few weeks because he is leaving in the summer. but we've got him as a wide defender on defend, wide centre-back should I say. Acerbi has kind of come in and been the new cover defender, so he's going to probably start. He's played a lot of games over the last few months, so Acerbi just a central defender on the cover. Bastoni, a little bit more. We're asking him to dribble more. He does. If you look at his heat map, he does get a little bit higher than the other two defenders, so we've got him on support. Dumfries, we've got on this right-hand side, just to give us a little bit of balance with the Barella role and what's going on the left-hand side. We've just put Dumfries as a wing-back on support. On the left-hand side, we've put Goossens as a left wing-back on attack. The idea is that he will naturally get high anyway, and that will just probably allow Bastoni a little bit more room to get in here. He will hopefully drag a player with him to allow Bastoni to carry the ball from deep. Into the middle midfield, we've gone with Brozovic as a deep line playmaker on defend. No player instructions. Mazzala on attack for Barella. No player instructions. And the central midfielder role, which is sometimes Çalhanoğlu, it's sometimes Mkhitaryan. You could even probably at times get away with like a Barella in there if we're doing a little bit of rotation. But central midfielder on support with dribble more and roam from position. I just didn't want to just have a playmaker in there because both Hakan Çalhanoğlu and Mkhitaryan do a lot for the team off the ball. And then the big two, now this is depending on what you do. I've kind of gone with Lukaku because I think if he'd have managed to stay fit, he has played a lot recently. I'm really interested to see how Simone Inzaghi goes with these front two. It will obviously be Martinez, but will he go with the tried and tested Edin Dzeko, or will he play the wild card and play Lukaku from the start? He may think, can we stay in the game and then use Lukaku later on to stretch the play a little bit? That's potentially what he might go with. I think if you play with an Edin Dzeko, Dzeko's done really well on a target man attack, but he's probably more of a support option. But there is no player instructions on the target forward on attack and no player instructions on the advanced forward. Pretty simple, but very effective. Right, moving over to the team instructions, we've got positive mentality, into possession, fairly wide with passing to space so we can clear those balls in the channel for Martinez and probably Lukaku to chase. Moving into channels, stretching defenders, in particular Lukaku when he's at a full fit Lukaku. Slightly shorter passing, he does vary it a little bit. There's no an over-reliance on possession, but they generally have better possession numbers than most in the Serie A this season. Tempo slightly higher. Hit crosses early because we want to maximise those Edin Dzeko, Lukaku, Martinez is also very good. Balls into the box. Playing for set pieces. I've done that because of the style of the defenders that we have. The set piece ability of like a Hakan Çalhanoğlu as well. So we've gone with play for set pieces. In transition, take short kicks, distribute to centre-backs. I've tried to do that so we get a little bit of a variation. You will still see Onana, or whoever you're using this tactic, your goalkeeper, still distributing the ball into flanks, still distributing to the playmaker, still distributing to the target forward. But I've just clicked that on, so at times he helps build up from the back. We've got a counter press and a counter. Depending on who they play, is generally dependent on who they do the counter pressing with. And also with having two strikers up there, it makes sense to have counter attacking on. Out of possession, they do swap between a highlight, depending once again who they're playing. They did press really well in the early stages of the first leg against AC Milan, where they stung them a couple of times. Not sure if they'll do that against Manchester City. It'll be really interesting to see. But for the game-wise, we'll go with a higher line and a high press, more trigger press, more often trigger press, and that is it. A classic example of how we play was the 5-0 win in Serie A over Lazio. Yes, they got a man sent off on 58 minutes, but we were already racing to a 3-goal lead, and it soon became 4 a minute later. 26 attempts on goal, 10 on target, XG, not much in terms of possession luck, and you'll see as well, down in the bottom corner, we had a little bit of a rotation with Hakan playing deeper as the City midfielder, and he finds some wonderful pick-outs in this game to help us set us on our way to a magical 5-0 win. Okay, because it's the second phase from an actual corner. Keeping the ball. Hakan, deep line playmaker on support. It's a lovely pass into Lautaro, and this is what you get with the front two, I think, a little bit. They just seem to get in between if we just run it back. The front two, there is Dzeko starting as the other striker. They just get in between the centre-halves and full-backs a little bit more, cause more problems. I do love a front two. And obviously Lautaro, if you give him chances, he's always going to finish. Patient build-up from the back. There's our back three. We've got Bastoni as the wider centre-half. Ambrosio is playing as the central defender. Skriniar on the right. We've got Hakan there as the deep line playmaker. Coming not too deep. He's in a good position. It's not too close. He's not sat on the sat on the toes of the back three. And then it's quick. We're not over-reliant on possession. If there's a pass to be made with the runs as well as Lautaro, you need to find him as early as possible. We get a little bit of luck. He works it well. And then obviously, Dzeko, Lukaku are going to be absolutely lethal from these sort of like central areas, balls into the box. That's why we've got Cross more often on. Once again, one possession. Hakan sitting really deep. We have got that playmaker on defend. Quick pass. Dzeko's in. Absolute finish. Once again, it's quick. It's direct. It's not overly reliant on a keep the ball for the sake of it. And we're off again. Watch now. Brozovic is now on. Can you see his role is really deep? But we're just playing through the lines pretty quickly. We're still building up through the thirds with the defenders. Bastoni looks got a really good wide position. That's allowing us to build up with a back three with the defensive midfielder. And then we're just looking for runs. That's all we're doing. And that front two gives you that. If they have the vision, can find passes like this. As I said, front two, it always gives you those opportunities for little slide passes, little cutbacks. And then the target forward, like Lukaku on attack, because of his pace, his power, he will work the channels extremely well. And we're looking for that pass into space option. All right, guys, that is it for today. I hope you've enjoyed it. An absolute beaut of a tactic. Go and plug it in. Check out the Patreon down below. Let me know which tactic you would like to see next week. I have got a couple of ideas, but season end is coming. We've got some new series coming out on the channel, so make sure you've subscribed, and we'll see you at the next one. Cheers, guys. Thanks a lot.